Hey Boo, welcome and welcome back to my channel. I'm Valerie and I'm so happy you're here with me. Tell me, what is your mind state like right now? Is it clear and luminous and open? Or is it cluttered and thoughts roaming around like a pinball machine? And I know, I get it. It is the way so many of us are most of the time. I'm guilty also, but there is so much to discover in having a mind like the sky. The Buddhist and other Eastern spiritual traditions or philosophical traditions have a phrase called sky of mind. And I love that phrase because it is what the nature of your mind really is composed of. It is like the sky. And sometimes it's simply called sky mind, which I love that. It almost sounds more like an adventure film of some kind. And what a gorgeous possibility that your very own mind could be as spacious, as clear as the sky itself. And it's not cluttered. And we know that feeling when our mind is cluttered and weighed down with thoughts and worries and anxieties and the what ifs and the but and if I could only and everything else that is standing between you and what you really want. And having a sky mind, which is really being in your essential self that does not feel separated from God or the universe, whatever you prefer to call it, the infinite. It's that sense of having already arrived there, that there is nothing that is standing in the way. There's no rabbit holes of thoughts that we fall into, and that where nothing ever gets really resolved. It becomes more like a labyrinth of rabbit holes that we're going in and out of and around, and they never really seem to lead to anything conclusive. They seem to bring up more doubts and worries and frustrations because there's no clear path that's moving through. And yes, sometimes a good rabbit hole, if it's about a topic that really turns us on, can be fun. It can be that sort of exploration, or it could even turn out to be part of the bridge of incidents that is moving you toward what you want to manifest. But most of the time, a rabbit hole is exactly that. It's something where once you're down in there, it does not lead to the way through. And it's really that when we're forgetting that, we're forgetting our essential nature. And I felt that myself lately. I had been allowing myself to forget my sky mind. It does happen. And you know that feeling. It's just as the vast sky covers the entire planet at the same time, the vast sky mind is within all of us at the same time. That's why it's also called the one mind, consciousness with a capital C, mind with a capital M. And it is that space that exists between thoughts. And that whereas thoughts are always arising, they're also subsiding. And we can view that the way the sky views clouds, the clouds coming and going. But the sky is always undisturbed by clouds, by the weather, by rain, by snow, by a tornado. The sky is still the sky. And it's really like the green screen of space. And we all experience this. And that's why meditation is about getting comfortable with the space between thoughts. And if you've ever done a meditation like that or began to get comfortable with that, it's really sitting, following the breath, and becoming more and more aware that there is a space between thoughts, that when we're quiet and turning more deeply within, that we notice the presence of the space. And it's said that when you're inhaling, you are receiving from the universe within you. You're really receiving from yourself. And when you're exhaling, you're giving back to the universe. So it's that sense of the more you're following that flow of breath, that you become more and more aware of the spaciousness that does exist between the thoughts. Not trying to squash thoughts. I know that a lot of people say, I can't meditate because I can't get my thoughts to stop. You don't even have to try. It's not even about that. It's simply about noticing that there is some space there, and that the more comfortable you get with sitting and the more you can gradually extend how long you're sitting without feeling like you're forcing yourself, that you do begin to feel that spaciousness that's there. And that is the nature of consciousness. And it's like, as I was saying, the clouds, the weather patterns, and even the topography is what breaks up the sky, that breaks up the atmosphere or the stratosphere. And similarly, our thoughts and our physical presence and the physical presence of others that are reflected back to you are also like features that are moving across the sky mind, moving across the sky mind that we all share and have always shared. So it's really about the natural luminous nature of consciousness, and that is to say, the luminous nature of you, that we're perceiving. Your essence is pure luminous consciousness. And just like the sky that we perceive with our eyes because of the way the light is refracting and sends that message to the brain, and the brain receives it and perceives it through the eyes, the physical eyes, the sky is, it's blue. And then it sees the sky depending on the time of day, the time of year, the weather, the season, etc. And that maybe it's full of clouds or rain, or the sun is coming up or going down, or it's full of smoke from a fire somewhere, or red dust that came in from Africa, or whatever it is that seems to upset the sky or change the configuration that appears in the sky. Could be a contrail from a plane. It could be clouds or a rainbow arising after a storm. So the sky is really like a green screen, just the way the sky mind is your green screen that you project your thoughts and the added meanings, the added interpretations, of what you're experiencing moment to moment. So there's really nothing going on in the sky at any given time. Similarly with the mind, that it's absolutely steady. And the sky never gets upset about the fact that there are clouds moving through it. The wind is blowing. Here in Florida, we get a lot of storms that come up this time of year. Hurricanes, tropical storms. And yet, even with the way there was a huge downpour just a few minutes ago that had gone on for quite some time, but the sky is always the sky, and it doesn't get upset. It's there when the stars are coming up, or the sun is going down and the moon is coming up, or what phase of the moon it is. Nothing bothers it. It's just there. And this is the same thing as your own consciousness, your own awareness. So you have thoughts coming and going, but your consciousness is just pure awareness. It knows thoughts are coming and going, but it doesn't judge the thoughts the way our separate sense of who we are judges the thoughts. It's what the mind, our smaller mind, does. It has thoughts and then it tends to analyze what it just thought, or judge it, or and criticize it in some way, or doubt it, or add on other layers and layers of meaning, put history on it, put future concerns on it, or start to think something and then reject it because it doesn't meet up with the other things that are the bigger worries. So when a cloud form dissolves or moves on, an air current blows away, the sky doesn't feel angry, alone, or ghosted. It doesn't have any difficulty with a particular state of consciousness or mindset or state of being. Now, you can, against the background of the green screen of your inner consciousness, yes, you'll be able to notice the state of being. So when you're in that state of awareness, you can notice, oh, this state of being, I'm feeling this way now. And a lot of times we're not even conscious of the states of being that we're moving in and out of. But when you can come from the sense of knowing that you are sky mind, you can see, there's that state coming up again. I don't really need that one anymore. And you can choose a different one. You get to explore that. Because the sky itself, or consciousness itself, does not work itself into a frenzy or get upset. It's just there. It's just spacious. It may have feelings arise. Yes, it knows feelings arise, but it just watches them arise and then fade out. This constant arising and fading out. It's that uncluttered green screen. So we're layering on thoughts, we're layering on states of being, and all the thoughts and storylines that go with that particular state of being or state of consciousness, whatever way you like to call it, and the characters that are perceived in that particular state. And what can happen is that if we start having doubts, the through line of consciousness that moves through everything can get obscured. And that's why we have the phrase double-minded. You can't be double-minded because one type of state is going to try to trip up going into another state. or it's a house divided against itself cannot stand, the two conflicting thoughts. But to consciousness, there's nothing going on. It just notices conflict, thoughts. And then you can let go of what isn't serving you in order to receive what you really want. Nothing going on except whatever meaning you are giving it. The sky doesn't give any meaning. It just says, oh, it's just moving through. It's just moving through. So to the luminous mind, to pure consciousness, any of that coming, going, what if this is just, oh, it's speculation. Oh, it's what's going on. So it's like the same with the ocean or a lake, that there are ripples and disturbances and tsunamis and whirlpools and all kinds of other things, but the bottom of that body of water is absolutely still. It's exactly the same kind of thing. The ocean doesn't make a big deal. It just does what it does, and it's absolutely still at the bottom. It's the ground of being. As the ground of what comes and goes in itself, it is infinite and eternal. That is you. That is your infinite, eternal, vast inner state. And yes, that is the I am. That is the I am at the root of it all. That's why I am says to the thoughts, be still. And know I am. Know that stillness. That's inner silence. And this pure light, this luminous nature, this stillness. It's where there's a wonderful gospel song that goes, may the long-time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, may the pure light within you guide your way on. That's what it is. It's exactly what that is. It's the light. And that's what guides you forward. So if we find, sometimes people forget that and become superstitious and start to layer things on. So if you've ever said, oh, fingers crossed, you like to do that, or say, knock on wood, or if you can't find some wood, you knock on your head. Knock on wood. It's that layering on to the green screen, literally, because superstition means standing over from the Latin root. Super means over. So it's basically looking for a way of protection or control. But you already have the power, because it's the power of your sky mind, your luminous infinite self. So it's not what are you hoping is going to happen or not happen. It's full of doubts, because maybe it will, maybe it won't. You are the luminous one. You have the power to choose and imagine how you want it to be. Do you want to add more clouds and storms, or do you want to add more sunlight, the pure light, to guide you? To choose that things do go the way you want for yourself, for the good of all involved. Because when you do choose in a way that what you want is actually serving others. And as Neville Goddard said, yes, sometimes you wonder why, you were afraid to even have a desire. But really, the desire will best serve everybody involved. We can't, if we're trying so hard not to offend anybody, or not to be, that we don't get somebody else's approval, or we're concerned something's going to happen, or it's going to bring bad luck to somebody, is to let that go in the knowing, in what Neville called the sublime spirit of determination, that you already have it. So if you allow that and recognize who you are and the power that you are, not just the power that you have, but you have that power because you are the operant power. So if this has resonated with you, do the thing right here. Leave a like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I love to hear how this has resonated for you. If you have questions, if this has impacted your view in any way, I'd love to hear in the comments below. And if it's something you struggle with, let me know. Love to hear that, where you're at, and how this resonates. Thank you so much for watching. Love you, boo. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you in the next video.